We are live. Hello. Hold on a second. Do we have it? Let me set it up like this. There we go.
Oh,
Hello. Okay. Here we go.
okay.
Hello. Welcome to another edition of the Willy Bragg Show today. As you all know, as you can see us live right now, I'm back on YouTube, as I stated last night.
Good.
Yeah. And today, we were supposed to have a guest last week, but for obvious reasons, I was not able to. But today we have Radical Leftist Agenda. And I'll let her introduce herself and we will conduct this little chat here. So take it away, Radical Leftist Agenda.
My name is Nikki. I have a Twitch. I have a Twitch stream. My name on there is Radical Leftist Agenda. I might change it though, because I don't know. I don't really know if I want to keep it anymore. But I have it, and mostly my Twitch is just to watch these political shows like your show and other shows. Just share stuff with each other. It's more kind of like a hangout. Some people are like, "You're not a journalist." I'm like, "I know. I'm just streaming on Twitch." So. That's it. I don't have much to say. You asked me some questions.
Oh, okay, that's all right. No, I think it's a great show. You build a community, you're building a following, and I have to thank you because last year I got on Twitch, but I did not quite know how to use it. Now I kind of know how to use it. Now I know what the hell I'm doing. So I'll be streaming on Twitch on a regular basis as well as on YouTube. So thank you.
And you're welcome. I wasn't even gonna. I was just like I decided to stream on Twitch just because it seems like more or less it's less formal than YouTube, more relaxed, and it's more like a hangout feeling. I guess I don't know if that makes sense to you.
Well, I think that they're probably more algorithm friendly, and I think it's probably overall better and less restrictive. So in that regard, yes. And I would keep. I would keep the name Radical Leftist Agenda. I like the name. So
I don't know. I don't know if I want to be called leftist anymore. I don't know if it's fitting or not because of the
I went through that.
you're talking about.
I went through that a couple of years ago. I went through that a couple of years ago, and then I came to the conclusion that what we need to do is to rescue the left and build a better left to actually win. Because the other side has nothing to offer, and what do we got out there? We got shit libs, we got garden variety Republicans, and we got actual fascists. So that so create our own.
No, sorry.
No, I was to say create our own left and try to build our own left and create a space, create an alternative. And I think that's what your stream's done. I mean, I probably feel more comfortable in your left wing circles on your Twitch stream than I have in a lot of places, even in a lot of places where they're like more like my ideological brethren over the years, strangely enough. And it's like a kind of a cross section of the left on your live stream, and I like that.
Yeah, the audience is kind of mixed. It's kind of also a lot of people that got banned in other Twitch streams because they can't say what they want. I mean, I also ban people because the TOS, you got to be careful on there. Like, you can't say, a lot of people want to say stuff even just for fun, but like that someone could report it and you can get your stuff taken down. Like you got your channel like screwed up for a week. That happened to me too, and I hardly even post on the YouTube. I just put the stream in there like sometimes, not even all the time, and I still got like suspended for a week too. I was like, this is stupid.
Yeah, and I took a look again at the guidelines of what it takes to get you suspended, and misinformation about COVID, misinformation about not just about the 2020 election, about pretty much any any election in the United States now, any past presidential election, and the German election from last year for whatever reason. I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck is going on in Germany where there's a dispute about the elections? You know, I mean, they're a hell of a lot more stable than we are as a society, I think. So, but
I don't know. I don't know
yeah,
what's gonna happen come winter though, because right? Like I don't know how they're gonna heat their homes and shit in the winter. This winter, I don't know if many people
oh
are talking about it.
yes, yeah,
I mean,
because
it's a big problem, and like you don't hear. I mean, I hear people talking about because of this media I consume, but like eh, regular people, they don't understand. They don't know what's going on over in Europe. It's just like, oh my god, well, I guess they're gonna find out if they don't know now. Eventually, they're gonna find out unless they do something about it, and I don't really know what they're planning on doing because everything I've heard that they're gonna do doesn't seem like it's gonna be sufficient for all the countries that are gonna suffer in Europe. So.
yeah, that's true.
Anyways.
That's true. That's true. Now, you lived outside the U.S. for a couple of years. Why don't you tell us about that?
Yeah, I lived in Thailand for 6 years. My ex-boyfriend is Thai. We met in New York. I used to live in New York City. We worked together. We started dating, and then he was a student there, and he had to go back. He asked me, "You want to go with him?" And it was like 2009. So it was kind of rough during that time. I was probably about to lose my job anyway, so I was like, okay, I'll go with you. And then I enrolled in university there because I didn't have my degree yet, and that's what I did there. I did university and teaching English, but in the end, we were together for like 8 years. I thought we would get married, but we didn't. And I came back to US, and here I am. And now I want to leave again. I want to go somewhere else.
Well, I'm finding out that a lot of retirees are, and for me, I'm very close to retirement. So a lot of retirees are moving out of the country, and a lot of people say, well, people want to come here to the United States. Or actually, a lot of Americans are leaving because the places they're moving to, the cost of living is lower, and as I say, the Iberian Peninsula, I'm finding out the cost of living is lower in Portugal, Spain, places like Italy and Greece. And I'm like, Jesus, you can get a house a hell of a lot cheaper over there, and you got
healthcare. that's a big
one.
one. That's a big one.
Yeah, and
everyone else is like,
sorry. Yeah. The idea of hanging out in a cafe, at retirement sounds a whole lot better than retirement life, for an elderly person anywhere in the U.S. So I don't know. Yeah. I'm like, that's percolating a thought in my mind. So.
Well, my dad's thinking about going to the Philippines, and I'm just like, what do you know about the Philippines? Please don't go over there and be like a rude American. That's what I'm worried about, because I feel like I don't know how my dad's gonna work out too well with a squat toilet and all of these other native things, which I don't even know the right way to say it, but I don't know if he's going to be able to respect their culture and stuff. So I really don't want him to go over there. But the only reason I would want him to go is I go visit him. That's it.
Well, I do like traveling myself. Money is the biggest drawback sometimes, and COVID has actually been the biggest drawback too. Hopefully, I don't know when we're going to have what we call a previous normal, but maybe our normal now is better than the normal 2 years ago. But one day I like to do a little more traveling again myself. So everything. Another little thing I'd like to mention, you're from North Carolina.
Yeah, originally from North Carolina. I was born in North Carolina. I was born in Charlotte, North Carolina. I've lived in Asheboro, is where I went to high school. And I've lived in Concord, Charlotte, Gastonia, Asheboro, Winston-Salem, all of those places, and a few different times, some of them like more than one time. But I left there in 2002. I moved to New York City. And I don't really go back often, but I need to go back at some point because my brother passed away. We were supposed to do the memorial for his life, and I don't know when we're going to do that still. But we got to do that. So
my condolences to your brother, by the way. So
yeah. It's happening. We really don't even know exactly what happened. We know he died of a drug overdose, which considering his lifestyle, it was suspected, or like it was. I wasn't surprised by it, but we don't know if it was heroin or if it's fentanyl, because a lot of people are passing away from fentanyl now, and we still don't know because the report has not come back yet, and they don't seem to care, obviously. Like, why they care? But yeah, we'll find out later.
Okay. Yeah, born and raised in North Carolina all my life. Lived for 2 years in Puerto Rico. My mom's Puerto Rican, so when my dad got his master's at East Carolina, and I was born in Greenville, so while he was working in his master's, and then they moved back to Puerto Rico. They met while he was in the Navy, and lived there from 70 to 72. So I lived there for 2 years as a little child. Then we moved back to North Carolina. Been in North Carolina pretty much since then. And
your parents are there right now, right?
Well, they're visiting right now here. They're here visiting. Yeah. My mother had an accident a few months ago. Found out she had a mini stroke.
Oh no.
She's going to be fine. They did an MRI. She's going to be fine. So, just they didn't know what the hell was wrong, and that's why they came here to take care of a few things. So, she's fine. So, and that's what counts. So, but as I said, I lived here in North Carolina all my life. Lived in the northeastern part of the state, a little town called Hosky. I would not recommend that place to anyone. You ever heard of it?
I've never heard of it, but I can imagine what it's like, because I've seen those middle of nowhere places.
Yeah, but about an hour away from Elizabeth City, maybe about 30 minutes away from Roanoke Rapids, and around that area. It's in the northeastern part of the state. Went to East Carolina, and been living in just outside of Raleigh for the past almost 30 years now. Raleigh's Lane. So that's pretty much, I'm just kind of tired of this area. And that's another reason I'm looking forward to retirement. I can go and move on the hell out of here. And moving on the hell out of here sounds very good. The sooner it may happen before retirement. So let's see what happens. Keep those fingers crossed.
I will keep the fingers crossed for you. I want you to be relaxed and, enjoy yourself.
Now, let's talk about some politics here. Let's talk about our political evolution. So
you go first, or you want me to go first? I'll go first because it's probably shorter. I'll say I wasn't really, my family's Republican. They're like Southern Baptist people, Republican. You can kind of imagine pro-lifer people that this type. This is what made me not want to do religion, but they're Southern Baptist, conservative, Republican type people. So I grew up in this type of household. I didn't really care about politics. I don't know, whatever. My parents are Republican. Okay. I didn't think anything. I went, and then when I moved to Thailand, I went to an election watch, and Obama was running, and everyone's like, "Who are you voting for?" I was like, "I don't care." But I went there with my teacher that's American, so everyone's like, "Oh, you're not voting for Obama?" I was like, I'm not even voting because I didn't send off for my ballot in time enough. So that election, didn't vote. I came back to the U.S. 2015, and then everyone's talking about Bernie. I don't know who Bernie is, right? And then I was like, oh, but his platform sounds good. This sounds like something I'm interested in. This sounds good. So I was ready to vote for Bernie 2016. Then we all know what happened in 2016. And I was even contemplating voting for Trump just because I hate Hillary, right? I was like, okay, who should I vote for? Should I vote for Trump? But I wasn't like interested really in political stuff. So I was just like, okay, whatever. And then Trump actually got elected. I was like, is this even real? And I stopped watching the news. I stopped watching the news. I was like, this is ridiculous. How can Trump become our president? Even though I hate Hillary, I was just like, is this even real? I don't think this is real. And come to find out nowadays, I feel like this probably really isn't real. This is all bullshit. And when COVID hit, I started paying attention to the news again, political stuff, because the election was coming up, and I started watching. Like I used to watch TYT like a long, long time ago, like when they first came out, and I was like, oh, I remember this channel. I was gonna start watching again, right? And then like people kept saying, oh, I don't trust TYT. And I was like, well, what's going on? I don't know. Started watching more and more, and I was like, damn. Okay, now I see what's going on. Now I've come from like watching TYT to like being critical of everything that they say. And a lot of other people, I found your channel, I found like the Combo Couch channel. Someone actually told me about that. Jackson Hinkle's channel, all of these other people's channels with more and more information. And it's really just like I did have like faith in electoral politics at one point, but now like the past few years that I've been paying attention, I don't think it's the way to help anyone now. So that's it. That's all. Here I am, like just streaming the political stuff on Twitch. But I'm not an expert, but I don't act like I'm an expert either. So some people are like, you don't know anything. I was like, well, why don't you teach me something? If you want me to know something, you can tell me, right? Don't be a dick, you know?
I mean, as far as being an expert, I mean, I think you know a lot.
You're an expert. I think you know a lot. I learned so much stuff from you. You got like all these stories from like back then that I have no idea about. But that's why we need to talk to you. So.
I'm an old man. That's why. That's why. I mean, I guess most people know my history. I'm, basically, a liberal Democrat, basically turned to an angry socialist and a Bernie bro. I was a Bernie bro, basically one of the first one in existence, going back to the 1990s, and just became really disillusioned when the Bernie Sanders situation happened in 2016, and then I lost about 20 friends over 2016. I voted for Jill Stein. I make no regrets over it.
Why did people so like upset about people voting for Jill Stein? And they thought that means Trump. This stupid shit is so annoying. Like, oh, it's your fault, Willy. It's your fault. We got Trump because you voted for Jill Stein. No,
North Carolina voted for Trump. I could have. I mean, there's no way my vote for Hillary Clinton would have turned North Carolina over to Clinton. I mean, and honestly, I mean, and why should I, when Hillary Clinton really, honestly, a lot of people think that Hillary Clinton is the progressive to get things done. And people really don't realize how conservative Hillary Clinton is, and her husband, and how, basically how they Reaganized the Democratic Party in the 1990s. And while they were sitting there, Rush Limbaugh was calling Bill and Hillary Clinton socialists in the 1990s. They were actually pushing the Democratic Party away from a lukewarm liberalism toward the crap that the Democratic Party is today. And God bless Bernie. He tried. And I do think he tried. And I'm disillusioned with Bernie. But you can call it a love-hate relations with Bernie. I'm like a recovering Bernie bro at this point, So this Bernie bro, okay. I call myself a dirtbag leftist. So that's why that's my little joke right there.
You're like the original Bernie bro, you said, right?
Yeah, so I consider myself the first one in existence. Yes.
I mean, I already see Bernie for what he's been the past few years, and I just. It's sad, but we can all respect him for showing people that our system's fucked up. The only thing I'm upset about is him saying that, knowing that, doing that, and still doing what he's doing right now. Like I don't know what I would do if I was him, but
Well, I mean, there is part of me that cut him a little more slack than maybe the squad, because he's really been through it, like back in the 60s and 70s and all of that. And if I lived in Vermont, would I vote for him enthusiastically as a U.S. senator? For senator, absolutely. I know he's not going to run for president in 2024, so I kind of just gave that up. I'll be really surprised if he runs again in 2024. So I'm hoping that somehow, I'll vote for Jesse Ventura if he runs. And some half of my left wing friends are going to hate me for saying this, but if Jimmy Dore is on ballot in North Carolina, I mean, I'd be willing to vote for Jimmy Dore for the People's Party, even though I have issues with the People's Party. So I mean,
I got issues too. I know.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And I mean, I'm not against them. I'm not against them. Yeah, I mean, I'm not have some.
What did you say?
Well, I'm not against the People's Party. I just have some issues. I just have some reservations about them.
I'm not even really against the People's Party either. I'm more against Nick Brana and him not stepping down because of all that mess, But also, I don't know if you know, but as of last night, there's some similar but different information came out about Caleb Maupin in the CPI. Might want to take a look at that too. And I also think that CPI is doing good work, but there was something a little bit weird and off about it, which might be if this stuff that came out is true. I'm not saying that it is, but actually I'm going to link it to you. You can take a look, but it's like 58-minute read. So I don't, I recommend you take a look out for stream. I put it in
I'm curious about it. I saw the CPI video from a few months back with, he's an eccentric fellow, Caleb Maupin. I know some people that knows him. So it's not 100% my line of politics. I've come from more of a social democratic outlook, always kind of been in that direction. But we all have different roads trying to lead to a same place in good faith. So
something better than this.
Yeah, something better. And I have a vision that maybe even with the Bernie movement, if capitalism runs its course and the two-party system breaks down, whether it's the People's Party or the Green Party, or my dream, a Labor Party being created.
That would be nice.
Yeah, an independent Labor Party being created. Something like along those lines could be the catalyst for change. Because let's face it, the Democratic Party is America's second conservative party. I mean, it really is.
They're the same thing. They do the same thing, same results. Sometimes it's even worse with the Democrats. I mean, we see what's going on right now. It's so gross how like they have AOC be the top star of the Democrat Party whenever Republicans in office, and now it's Marjorie Taylor Greene is the top star of the Republican Party now that the Democrats are in control. It's so gross. It's so gross what they're doing. Even they say good things and they have people behind them like, yeah, what you're saying is right. That's so good. You're standing up, blah, blah, blah. As soon as the things switch, then they switch it, and one is different. One's just sucking up to whoever's the president, and the other one's, calling them out. And okay, it's the same thing, just reverse, but still nobody's helping people, right? Like, what the fuck? What is this? It's just a show, just like everything else that seems like a show. Like everything that happens nowadays, it's kind of weird to live in these times. But I know everyone else is up here too, like saying the same thing or ignoring the same things that we say, right? Like, I don't know. It seems just crazy.
Well, a libertarian friend of mine online said, and I agree with him, that he thinks that the two parties exist today simply to, on the surface level, own one another. And that's all there is to it. I mean, it's a dog and pony show. They're pretty much alike. They got the same donors, and all they want to do is do the window dressing, culture war bullshit, and try to own one another, and that's all it comes down to. And it's so unimpressive, and it just really demoralize people and everything. And sometimes I go on this bread tube space as a way to get away from mainstream media, because I can look at this alternative media with a little more sincerity than I do from mainstream media, with a little bit of comedy on the side. and so, as I said, for me, it was, Kyle Kalinske kind of influenced me to say, well, you know what, he's done this, and I'm like, I was like, he had probably the best impression on me of all the people on the online sphere in the last decade. So I was like, you know what? Let me see if I can do this. And, and I'm not sitting there trying to get 1 million subscribers. I'm not even trying to get 100,000 subscribers. But no person, but I'm buried in the algorithm, shadow banned and buried in the algorithm. So if I would have done this a decade ago, I would probably have a couple of thousand subscribers today. I know I would. And, whereas here right now, I hear other people talking about how they'll go like maybe a month and not have a subscriber. And so it's like, okay, I know it's not me. I know it's all these other folks are having the same problem.
Me too, but I don't really do YouTube, but I do not get that many. I think the only people that end up following me are people that are subscribing. People see me in like a chat or something and they find my channel. No, other than that, usually no, not unless, because I'm not really promoting either. So that's why. It's just a chat.
Well,
friends, mostly.
You still your channel still serves a great function. People get people get informed, and you got a lot of information. It's a lot of information up there. And I've always said from day one, it's like one of my favorite parts of the internet day. So watch your stream. So I always look forward to your stream. Sometimes I'm not able to because I work graveyard shift. But so if you don't see me up there, it's because I'm sleeping. But no, if I'm there,
don't worry about not coming. It's okay. I'm just watching whatever people sent to me or what I thought is interesting. But it's okay. You don't have to. I'm not gonna be like, oh, he didn't come or something. If I just didn't see you for a long, long time, I might be like, oh, hey, long time no see. But that's it. But don't worry.
More likely I'm asleep in the daytime.
I miss yours too, because yours, since I got laid off for my job, like I used to sometimes catch them like when I first got to work, but now I'm usually like probably eating breakfast or rolling out of bed around that time, so that I didn't find a new job yet, and so I was like, oh, I didn't see.
Oh, that's all right.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. So anyway, and it's sometimes. Just kind of watching, it's kind of interesting just watching the drama and everything. Because the one thing that the right and the left has in common politically is some of the talking heads drama. Because a decade ago, I remember when right-wing talk radio hosts were in a turf war themselves. I used to hear Michael Savage and Mark Levin snap at each other, and Glenn Beck and Alex Jones are snapping at each other on the air and everything like that. But now that's been replaced by TYT
Twitter.
and Jimmy Dore.
On Twitter.
And Glenn Greenwald and Shank Ugart and that horrible immaturity on Shank's part the other day. That was
with BJG. That was so horrible. I saw some people like trying to talk bad about BJG, and I was like, how you can't do that in this situation. How are you even rationalizing that she's the bad one here? Like, this is so disingenuous right now. Please stop.
Oh, I just love. She just calmly killed him. She just calmly destroyed him on.
What she does.
She just like very calmly. She just let him have. She was just like she just let him have it. It was. I was like I was really impressed. I'm just like and just I'm just like I enjoyed every second of that, that exchange, because it was just kind of like,
Sorry. I was just gonna say I'm not a ventriloquist dummy for Jimmy Dore. That was so funny.
And I love the videos where there were actually people made the comedy videos from Turncoat Don and Matthew Orff
Oh.
and some of the others. Oh my God, that was great.
And STFU shitlib Joe, he's so
Oh yeah, I
funny.
forgot about him. He's good
He's
too.
pumping them out a lot, even though like I like Orf's videos, but Orf drops a video like once every 3 or 4 months, I feel like. But Joe puts them out all the time, so I really love that.
Oh yeah, Joe did one on Donald Trump that was funny as hell in a golf course. Do you see that one where
I
he's
probably
it's
saw
like
it, but I don't remember it right now.
oh yeah, that's funny. Yeah, yeah, because it's like Donald Trump's in a little child's body, his head imposed on a little child's body, throwing a tantrum in a little golf course. It's funny as hell. So yeah, I think that Joe is talented too. So I mean, and Turncoat Don. I mean, and he
Yeah, he's good.
That guy. I can't get enough of Turncoat Don.
Yeah, I like all of these guys, and I'm sure that there's more that I'm not even listening that I don't know about. But I like all of whoever wants to make funny videos of these politicians or political commentators or whatever. I'm really into it. If you say it, please send it to me.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, and then we come to famous people, more famous people like Tim Dillon dressing up as Meghan McCain. I mean, I wish he could do more of that. Have you ever seen that?
I haven't seen it, but it sounds funny. I like Tim Dillon. I'm gonna look it up right now.
Yeah, he's done 2 videos where he dressed up as Meghan McCain, and people were like, "Can we see more of that?" And
oh God, oh God, I see it right now. I'm so sorry. I'm watching.
Oh no, it's funny as hell. I mean, you know,
my father. Okay, I see it. This is funny.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. I was like, I saw that about 2 years ago during the primaries and everything because she, she was the worst person on the View. I mean, of course, I called the View the shit libs version of Fox and Friends.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so I mean, it's every bit as cringe and everything. So, but anyway, well, here in North Carolina, I mean, you probably know the ballot. They got back on the ballot recently.
Matthew Ho?
Yeah, he's back on the ballot in North Carolina. So
okay, I didn't realize that. I knew he had some issues. I saw him doing the rounds on like every channel. So that shit was so fucked up.
Oh yeah, we got back on the ballot. I was so grateful too, and everything, because it just made me angry. It's like the Democrats don't want they don't want the left to do well in primaries. They want to
because they know they're going to do well.
Yeah, they want to attack the left in primaries. They want to go and they want to make sure that third party choices are not available, and they want to make sure that if you are a leftist, that the only thing you can vote for is a lesser evil, moderate shade of Republicans called the corporate Democrat, and that's pretty much what it comes down to. And it doesn't make me want. It makes me want to vote for Democrats even less when they do shit like that.
Yeah, because what's the point? These people are scheming. They just do anything to get elected, but they don't do anything to help you. I wish they worked that hard on helping people than just getting elected. It's such bullshit. Or put all of that money into helping people
I mean,
instead of... Why are we wasting all this fucking money on elections, campaigns? Just... I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want this to be a thing anymore. I want people of a community. Do you want this thing? Who's going to do it or whatever? Does someone even have to do it? Can we just vote on it? Our money to be spent this way, and then we will select someone to do it. Or like a job interview. Like, okay, are you qualified? Let's all check who we like. I don't know. Like, I think just the way that things go now is just not helping anyone, and the system is so fucked that there's too many like loopholes and everything else. Whatever you want, it's impossible. It's just impossible. They make everything impossible.
It's all set up for it to basically the way our government is set up in our society. Corporate welfare to prop up I mean, basically to prop up big business, prop up the private medical industrial complex, prison industrial complex, the military industrial complex. And if
Yep.
they do anything for the people, in terms of public services, they mean test the hell out of it. And
Yep.
so when people talk about free stuff, there's no such a thing as so-called free stuff. And
I
why
know, especially. Oh, sorry, I was gonna say that there a lot of conservatives. Oh, these illegals come here and get free stuff. First of all, they don't have social security number. How are they gonna get free stuff? I have a social security number. I don't even have a job right now. I can't even get the SNAP benefits. I was like, okay, what the fuck? Like, okay, I don't have a job and I can't get the SNAP benefits. Okay.
Yeah, I
Anyways.
mean, yeah, it's like for example, my dad to pay for the Iraq War, 2003. My dad's a veteran. I mean, he didn't serve in Vietnam. He didn't actually go in Vietnam. My dad was a naval officer. He was at the Roosevelt Roads Naval Base in Puerto Rico, and he cannot get any VA benefits, veteran benefits now because they said he makes too much money. I mean, and to me, I think that if you serve, I mean, I'm not exactly a big proponent of militarism and all of that, but I support the troops. I don't support the military being everywhere around the world. I want them to all come home. But the troops, yeah, the veterans, yeah, give them something. Give them health care. That's what it was set for. But to pay for that, Bush went and means tested the VA. And I just thought that was so wrong.
Yeah. All of this, I mean, all of these, and it's more and more like every president, every next president, or whoever's in charge or writing, they're going to take more and more from the people that even sacrifice their life to keep up this fucking bullshit, right? But they did it. Most people do it because they don't have any other way to make a decent, what you would say, a decent living, and also the way that we've been propagandized, there are people that think that they're actually doing the right thing, they don't understand. We're not taught that in school. We're not taught what our government and military are doing. And if you don't even look into it, and if you don't talk to the right people, you might not even know, because a lot of people just go about their business, go to work, not paying attention. And I think that there are people that do know, that don't care. There's some people that do know, that do care, that are trying to speak out about it. But I think you try to tell as many people as you can what our position is in the world if they don't know. And if they don't believe you, just try to show them some examples, other people from other places talking about how bad it is here and what our military is doing. Because I still think a lot of people just don't understand what's going on, even though they should.
Well, yeah, it's really strange world that we live in, because I remember 20 years ago, every other weekend, I was going to a protest against the Bush Cheney wars. I mean, when the Iraq war, I mean, if Afghan invasion started in 2001, with the Iraq war in 2003. And I remember during the Bush Cheney years, I mean, it was every other weekend, there was always some kind of event. So I was actually traveling. I traveled to DC. I traveled to Charlotte. I traveled to
wherever, right? Kind of driving distance.
I was traveling. I went to Richmond. I was kind of on the road all the time, going to one protest after the other. Some protests were bigger than the others. In some places, we didn't get any coverage, and we had a sizable crowd. Like in Charlotte, we had a sizable crowd, and I was with the Socialist Party back then, and I was one of the keynote speakers, believe it or not. But but we didn't get any press coverage back then, because press back then covering left-wing events was not sexy news back 20 years ago. Now they kind of cover left-wing events a little bit, so but the point I'm trying to make is that by the time Obama came along, all of a sudden the anti-war protests stopped, and now now it's considered now it's considered almost right-wing to question
Military.
the military war venturism, and trying to question the NATO action with regard to the Russian-Ukraine crisis. Because honestly, I'm not for Russia going into the Ukraine, but let's keep it real. Ukraine are not the good guys that the West paint them out to be. There's
100%.
Yeah, there's a lot of Nazis in there. There's homophobia actually was worse in Ukraine than it was in Russia. And there's deep-rooted anti-Semitism in Ukraine, in spite of Zelensky being Jewish. There's been, Obama's the first black president. We have a lot of racism here, and Cenk Uygur.
Joe Biden's the president. He's a racist.
Yeah, there you go.
So.
Well, you got, Cenk Uygur saying, well, you got racists in Idaho, Nazis in Idaho.
Or something.
It's like, no, that's not the same thing. You got actual Nazis institutionally in the government of Ukraine, serving as government ministers, serving in high levels of the military. Not a bunch of swastika wearing skinheads who are privates in the army in Ukraine necessarily. They got a Nazi problem in the Ukraine. So I'm not for either camp because of that. So I'm a third camp internationalist anyway. I'm an anti-interventionist and have kind of remained so to this day. Anyway.
Yeah, that should be usually the correct position. I understand what's going on in Russia, but it's not like I'm like, oh yeah, Russia, go kill everyone. No, it's more like save the Russians and the people that are in trouble in Ukraine from the Ukrainian Azov and the rest of them. I think that's. And also, I heard that if they got the military aid from Russia, the Ukrainians are in trouble. If they accept aid from Russians, it's such bullshit, because those people over there are suffering. They can get arrested for accepting aid and water and food. Who's not going to accept that when you're starving and in a situation like that? So I guess they just I feel really, really bad for the people of the area in Ukraine, and I don't know what I can say, but I hope this thing gets settled sooner rather than later, because the Ukrainian people, whether they're good or bad, they're all in this situation together, right? And they're fighting the war with Russia for us. It's even they're Nazis, whatever, they should fight their own war, right? And it's our war, actually, that we started this war.
We broke a promise to Russia in the early 1990s. We made an agreement with them when the Soviet Union collapsed, and we made a promise to not have Eastern Europe join NATO. We made that promise back after the late 1990s. One by one, all these Eastern European countries started joining NATO, and they felt threatened and everything.
What a huge
and the only person.
Sorry.
Yeah, and the one of the few people, and I have some issues politically, issues with her politically, but she's still consistent. Tulsi Gabbard is one of the few people that still speak consistently on the anti-war message, and she's been consistently correct on this Ukraine-Russia conflict. And of course, you have Mitt Romney that wants to have her arrested for her words.
It's such bullshit. It's all bullshit. I don't know. I also think that people can't say anything anymore, nothing at all. So that's why everyone who knows just needs to say it. Whatever. If you only have an audience of one person, just fucking say what you gotta say. Just while you still can.
Yeah. We have, right now in social media and in general, we have we may have gotten rid or convinced the Biden administration to scrap the Disinformation Governance Board, but they're doing it on their own anyway. So, as you could see last week, shutting down my channel for a week. without due process. They just shut me down.
They don't
So,
care
I
your
mean,
channel's too small because we're not going to have a person for you to actually determine whether this was a false ban or not. We don't care. It's like, come on, man. YouTube's got all this money and they can't have like customer service people to replies to why exactly your shits get shut down. Like, come on. I'm sure that there's so many employees doing nothing. Have them do a little bit of something.
well, it's funny. YouTube was created to kind of get away from what people were being spoon fed on television and everything, and being on the internet was supposed to be the Wild West as far as free speech as far as we can go. And I'd like to thank you, by the way, for your passionate position on free speech, because I get a lot of lecture from a lot of fellow lefties about it. They're like, "Oh, there you go again, talking about free speech," and they're like, "You're such an alarmist on this issue." I mean, and
there's a reason for it. There's a reason why you need to be like that, because if you start policing everyone's words, you can't say anything. And how are we going to communicate our problems, our issues, our frustrations and concerns if you're not allowed to say what you're allowed to if you're not allowed to say everything? And I know that it sucks, like someone says something rude or upsetting to you, but you have to think beyond yourself when it comes to situations like that. Yeah, someone might hurt your feelings. I got my feelings hurt too. But you would rather know than not know.
Well, I mean, the thing about it is that I mean, I don't like conspiracy theories, and I don't like lies and slanders, and I don't like these things. But you know what? At the same time, you kind of have to let it around, because the best way to counter slander, the best way to counter conspiracy theories and lies is with speech. Is the weapon you got. That's the weapon you got. And if you start silencing everybody, and then you're not going to have that at your disposal. And honestly, it always come back to bite the left in the ass. I mean, usually the left is always the biggest victim of censorship, always. And yet the left now these days are the ones who are accused of it. And it still comes from the right. There's a lot of censorship that comes out of the right, even now. And people get this attitude, it's like, well, I don't know about the right. I don't know about conservative engaging in cancel culture. The hell they don't. They do. They do engage in cancel culture.
They really do.
It's in their brand.
Gosh. Everyone's so delusional.
They are. They really are. They are. So anyhow, so. But anyway, but it looks like we have a nice little chat line. So looks like you're popular today.
Yay!
So So and all of that. So how are you voting in November if you do vote?
I haven't even I haven't even thought about it, because you know what? I don't even know where our country's gonna be. Every day it's like more and more something different. So let's just see. I don't have any decision right now. I don't really give a fuck.
Because you got more choices than I do. I mean, I got the green choice in November, but you got Greens and you got Peace and Freedom, and I guess you might have a People's Party too in November. So I mean, you got more choices in California than I do in North Carolina. But I'm grateful for my green choice.
I might not even be here in November. Who knows? It depends on if I find a job, right? So I try to take everything like that. I'll let you know.
I know
if
that.
I'm gonna vote, though.
Okay, yeah, I know what it's like to be in between jobs. So that I do know. So and good luck on your job search, by the way.
Thanks, so, I need it.
Yeah, yeah. That's kind of I enjoy actually making people mad about people not working, because I hear people say, "Oh, people don't want to work anymore." I'm like, yeah, people they don't want to be bothered by bullshit managers and low pay and all of that. And I call it the quiet general strike, because the one thing that's good about this is actually force companies to, we didn't get a $15 minimum wage, and that $15 an hour is too small anyway. But we've actually had wages rising a little bit because people are not going to work. And I think that's a wonderful thing. I like businesses being inconvenienced by raising the wages. Yes, make it more attractive for people to work. And pay them what they're worth. And
give
when
them
people
benefits. Give them days off. Give them a life. Like, nobody wants to be 40 years old going to a job that they need to have 10 years of experience for, and they still can't get like days off or anything. I don't know. I'm looking for a job right now, and like, I'm just saying, I don't think it's going to be hard to find a job, but one to pay enough so I can pay my bills is the issue that I'm worried about. And also, like, I'm still seeing people's like putting down like, oh, okay, $15 an hour. I think that's the minimum wage here now. You're gonna pay me $15 an hour. You need 3 or 4 years of experience. Get the fuck out of my face! Like, what is this? I don't know. I'm worried about finding a job that's gonna pay me enough money, but I'm not exactly worried about finding a job. But I just wish that apparently in San Diego the living wage, because I looked up on the living wage calculator, apparently it's $23.50. So I'm just gonna ask the corporation that wherever I go to do the job interview, do you pay a living wage for San Diego? Because the living wage calculator says it's $23.50 for San Diego. So I was just wondering if you guys pay a living wage. And when they ask me to ask any questions, I'm gonna ask them that, and let's see what they say. I don't know.
When I got laid off from my previous job was unionized, and I worked that job for 20 years, and I have a pension to look forward to from that job, so that's a good thing. I did not realize this. If I would have realized this, I could have gotten myself another unionized job. I would check the AFL-CIO state AFL-CIO site. They might have a union board part of their website. They might have some unionized jobs available. I would check there if I would, it's just a suggestion. And
no. I'm interested, and thank you. I just looked up their site, but I see something really tragic as soon as I go to the site. The Inflation Reduction Act is a victory for working people. Oh God!
Would have been a victory for the working people if, at a minimum, the original Build Back Better that Bernie came up with, which didn't go far enough, but it was the best that could be done under the circumstances. And which is really weird, because you hear Republicans say, why don't the Democrats come up with something that's for the working people instead of all this woke stuff? Well, that's what Bernie Sanders came up with, and they're like, well, we can't do that, and it's
You're
just
a socialist.
Yeah, and so
we don't want no Bernie socialist.
Yeah, and this thing was this Build Back Better. They called Build Back Better woke. I'm like, Build Back Better was as class reductionist as it comes, and was probably the most New Dealish, most Great Society-ish program around in decades. And thanks to Joe's Manchin and Kirsten Sinema and other shitty Democrats like them, that
parliamentarians.
They turned it into nothing. I mean, so it just kind of like it was just extremely frustrating having to deal with them, to deal with these people and everything, and it's just kind of the beginning of the Biden presidency. It was kind of like the Democrats, the left were like wanting to be well behaved, thinking, well, if we were well behaved, maybe they'll give us something. And then they were upset by this whole idea of forced to vote. And, almost 2 years after the fact, and I hate to be right all the time, but at the same time, I want to tell these people who said forced to vote was not the way to go, I told you so.
Just say it loud, say it proud. Fuck them.
Yeah, I mean, because they're like, we're not going to get it for Medicare for all if we do force a vote, as if not doing force a vote was going to get us Medicare for all around the corner.
That's the stupidest shit that I've ever seen people repeat. It's like, are you really repeating this? This sounds so ridiculous. I can't believe it. But there are people that do that. And I don't know if they're just repeating whoever their favorite podcaster is or if they really think that that was a bad idea. That just sounds like dumb as hell. Like, I just don't think
I think a lot of it had to do with I hate Jimmy Dore, the Jimmy Dore derangement syndrome, and you don't have to love Jimmy Dore to be for.
It's not his idea. It's not really.
Yeah.
It's not even his idea. It was just him trying to bring awareness to it. Oh God, you hate Jimmy Dore so much that you don't want people to have health care. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, it was a DSA. It was from DSA. They're the one that came up with the idea. I mean, and as I said, they're the ones that came up with the idea, and I like the idea because it was a militant parliamentary tactic. I mean, this to hold Nancy Pelosi's seat hostage, and if Nancy Pelosi would have lost her speakership, and it would have meant another Democrat, it wouldn't have meant Kevin McCarthy, it would have meant another Democrat, even would have meant a conservative Democrat, more conservative Democrat becoming Speaker of the House. Well, it just meant that Nancy Pelosi should have cooperated. And see, the Tea Party had no bones. They had no problems with making life uncomfortable for John, what was his name? John Boehner, who was the Speaker of the House. Yeah, John Boehner and Paul Ryan. That's why he stepped down and he retired. But he got tired of dealing with the Tea Party. So I mean, the thing there, the squad could have been the Tea Party to the left, and they, instead of just trying to be, nice little, foot soldiers for the Democrats, they could have just been there being obnoxious to the Democratic leadership, and they
we gotta worry about their careers, Willie. What are you talking about?
I'm more worried about the people, people getting and I make no apologies, free stuff. I mean, I think that people are entitled to free stuff. Other countries get free stuff. We should get free stuff. Corporations been getting free stuff, and the rich and powerful and the affluent been getting free stuff all the time. Maybe it's time for ordinary people, since they've been working hard, to get free stuff for a change.
Yep. But nobody wants to do that. It's so gross. We need more, since there's more workers than anything else. I mean, where are they? I guess they're all at work, right? Like, God, this just sucks so much. I hope things get better, but I just don't see it getting better. Not that I don't want it to.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens, I guess. I mean, I actually thought we were going to get a $15 minimum wage, but I shouldn't be surprised. And
it's so bad. I thought that we could get that too. Even Jake thought that was an obtainable goal to force a vote on. Right?
And I confess that the Protect the Right Organize, that they were actually talking about Protect the Organize Act, Right to Organize Act. I mean, I was like, oh wow, they're actually talking about that. That will make a crucial difference. But then I had to remember Obama campaigned on the Employee Free Choice Act, which was also a labor law reform. And as soon as he got in, the Democrats never talked anymore about it. And I actually wish that they would have done the Employee Free Choice Act, card check, as they called it. That would have been more effective than Obamacare, because I think that if the unions would have grown, I think that it would have actually created a situation where a healthcare could have been more available and affordable for people. It would have actually worked itself into healthcare reform down the road. Just kind of how I look at it. So, but anyway, that's pretty much on that. So anyway, let's see. Anything else you want to add to this?
I just want to say thank you for having me on your show. Sorry that it took so long to get on, and then last week was a bump in the road. But I'm really happy to know about you, and then I think that I met you from the Kyle Kalinske group in Facebook, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that when I first we chatted on. Now I remember that conversation. We were chatting on that group, and I was like, damn, she's cool. I'm gonna put in a Facebook request for her.
Well, I was like, this guy seems he's putting out videos all the time, and I was like, nobody's really in this group that much. I haven't really checked it lately or anything, but I just remember that I saw you would post your videos, and I was like, cool, and I like some of the stuff you were talking about, and yeah, I think you're cool too. So I'm glad that we became friends here. I'm looking in the chat right now. Hot heart R word chick says, "Can you fight?" No. Do you want to teach me how to fight?
Oh yeah, yeah. She's got a sense of humor there and everything. So yes,
Oh, I think
let's
it's she,
go.
maybe not they. Sorry. My
Uh,
bad.
let's take a look through this chat line here. We'll go through this chat line and we'll have a discussion with them here. Let's see. Alex Schmidt writes, where do you fall among the type of personality amongst leftists, dirtbag versus progressive types? I identify as dirtbag. So
Well, I
how
don't
about
know. I don't know the range, but I would just say left of progressive. Does that make sense?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I would say that would apply to me too. Let's see. Punisher says good vibes, good vibes, good vibes. And I agree.
Hey Punisher, hey Schlotsky, hey T Bird the Third, and
Hi,
hey, we need critical thinking.
36. Let's see here. Does being in the third world expat friendly countries while making Western currency ever make you feel like you're contributing to gentrifications? It's hard to not feel guilty as a leftist sometimes.
Well, I
Um,
didn't live in a expat country making Western currency. I went to school there, and I also volunteered teaching, and then I was a teacher. I made the Thai salary, and it actually pissed me off when Americans would come over and say everything's so cheap here. Because actually, it wasn't cheap for me. I'm working. I'm doing like I. No, it's not like that for people. And I also have kind of been like showing videos lately on my stream about how like the gentrification of Mexico. I don't think that that's cool at all. I do think that if everyone's moving out to a cheaper country, then like that's a problem with the home country actually, and it might help the other country for like to boost their economy, but it also might hurt the locals if they can't afford to pay the new prices from gentrification. So we all need to be aware of that when we go to somewhere else. Sorry.
no problem. Let's see. I'm scrolling back up. Let's see what we got here. Hold on a second. Let's see. Let's see. And he, Muskie, good vibes, good vibes, good vibes. Let's see. Elbow, cough, elbow, cough. Says Punisher. Thanksgiving must be great, says Chalesky. Hate Hillary. Oh, I do too. Let's see. Nikki is the Kangle queen, says. Let's see. Punisher says SSJ for Curtis. LRA bus to Cool J to Shane with all the Ken Joel.
He's saying RLA puts LL Cool J to shame with all the Kangles. I think that's what he's trying to say. He just got some typos in there.
Okay, let's see. Getting back to I'm scrolling through here. Let's see. We got 100 from Shaleski. Let's see. Radical Leftist Agenda. ILY, you people. Okay. Let's see. SSJ for Curtis. LOL. I know, right? At Punisher. Let's see. The Neo algorithm. What's up? What's my homie? What my homies? Yo, Nikki, thank you. Excuse me. No, yo, Nikki, you famous now? TV Birds, the bird.
T-Bird the third.
T Birds. Sorry about that. Let's see. Sounds like a skill issue. Let's see. I always try to go through I didn't do this at first when I got on YouTube, but I what you call the chat lines, and I try to cover everybody. So hold on a second here, and it keeps the thing keeps bouncing when I go down to.
No, it's okay. I'm just looking at the chat on the actual chat.
Uh-huh.
I can read it for you.
Do you guys believe in joining forces with other lefty YouTube channels to force a primary with Joe Biden?
I don't know what
force
kind of
primary.
joke that is.
Well, I mean, I'm for making Joe Biden uncomfortable in the primaries if that's what he means. But I'm not voting for the Democrats in 2024. I'm voting third party like I normally been doing. I know right, says Schlatsky. Let's see, no right, says radical leftist agenda. Let's see. I know right. Let's see. Base said the Punisher. Hot retarded chick says she's cute.
What?
Let's see here. All right. Let's see. Schlatsky says the West has a history of ratcheting up tensions around Ukraine. They love to see people starving and fighting each other. Some people call that Tuesday. Let's see.
Tuesday.
Yeah, that's the American way, foreign policy wise. Yeah. There's actually a song by an old punk band from Louisiana called the Red Rockers, and it's called Dead Heroes. If you ever look it up, it describes the American foreign policy in a nutshell. I mean, it's from 1981, but it still applies to today. If you ever look it up on YouTube, it's called Dead Heroes by the Red Rockers. Look it up, and you will see what I mean. It describes American foreign policy. Nothing's really changed since then. Let's see, they shut my guy Willy down. Yeah, they sure did. Yeah, thank you. What the hell? It can't. Yep. Let's see here. But they wouldn't make as much profit, says Schlatsky. Let's see. Bad information is countered by good information. Thank you. Because you never know what will turn out to be true, and censoring the truth costs real harm. Let's see. True. Let's see. All right.
True.
Punisher
speaks the truth.
Hot retarded chick says, smart kid, hire her if you're watching, boss. I'm for her being hired.
Thank you.
I see her. I hear two good people. See, that's what's that? We need
critical thinking.
That's right. We do. We need critical thinking. Do you hear about CPI? Said radical leftist agenda. Yep. So sad. I can't wait to read that document, by the way.
You gotta read it, but it's super long. Actually, Schlatsky, the guy in the chat, he did the reading on his Twitch channel in the middle of the night. If you don't want to watch, I mean, if you don't want to read it and you just want to listen to him go over it, then you can go to his Twitch stream. It should be up there. I think it's up there.
Okay. I'll try to look Schlatsky up.
I'll put a link in the chat actually.
Please do. I'll follow him. I promise. I see.
Maybe it didn't make a link, but he did read it last night. So I actually happened to make it over there when he was reading.
The micro and the macro. Come on, guys. Oh my gosh, that's funny. The macro and the micro. Yeah. Gosh, what's the name of the guy? He's in England. He was making fun of AOC for doing that. He's the Syrian guy from England. Gosh, what's his name? Young
Ask
guy.
ask Manara. He probably knows. I don't know.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I listen to him occasionally. He's really good. And I cannot think of the name of that guy. Anyway, let's see. Everyone looks great today. Let's see that committee seat though. Let's see here. More free stuff. Check. I'm just trying to be fair to everybody with their chats.
No, they're good. They're good.
Uh,
At least Schlotsky, Rowland Raw, T-Bird the Third, and Punisher, they're all probably fine.
Let's see. Trade Roland Raw. Trade the federal minimum wage for UBI. Well, I've always been in favor of a UBI. Can she fight? I don't know. Let's see. What a joke. Fight for what we can actually get. Then very obviously, not even that. Let's see here. Judo, karate, anything. Let's see. You got this. All right. Let's see. Oh, let's see. Hold on a second. Good vibes. All right. Judo, let's see. Judo can make you so powerful that you cancel other countries' pipelines and enforce price hikes in the most powerful country on this planet. I wish I knew too. Let's see. Let's see. Virtual hug. Mexico needs to build a net like a wall, but really tall, to stop Americans from coming in on airplanes. You know, I've never been to Mexico.
Well, I've only been to TJ anyway, so
Let's see.
You should come.
Yeah, one of these days. I will one of these days. Let's see. Bye-bye. Let's see here. Dear God, the Russians called this day the Reaper, the casualty numbers of Ukraine. Ugh. I might be interviewing possibly Catherine Ann McCloskey is friends with Scott Ritter, so she might be able to get me in touch with Scott Ritter. So hopefully, and that's the former UN weapons inspector, I might be able to interview him fairly soon. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. Let's see.
Well, you know about Scott Ritter, right? Just gonna say, like, you know his past, right? Do you know about his past? I mean, it's gonna be good for your channel if you got the interview with Scott Ritter, but he's also
I know he was the assistant to General Schwarzkopf, and he was the UN weapons inspector, and he urged the U.S. not to go into Iraq.
And he also been convicted of like trying to hook up with minors twice. So I'm just gonna tell you that there's like he went to jail for it once. They were decoys, right? 2 times that he got caught with decoys. I don't know how many times he did this on his own, but he's trying to hook up with minors. You can look it up. I'm just gonna let you know in case someone says that to you afterwards, just because I didn't know either. And I liked his information and stuff, but also it kind of like a little less trustworthy when I find out that this guy's so like unfaithful to his wife, but not just that, like he actually exposed himself to some minors too. It's really gross. It's but after hearing that, also listening or reading the Maupin story, I mean, it's just like, why is everyone like this?
That I didn't know. Thank you for that. Letting me know about that.
You're welcome. Well, I mean, I didn't know either, and someone told me about it, so it's just like, God, why does it have to be like this? But I just want to like give you a heads up. So,
only thing cool about our current president is that his son smokes crack. That's funny. Let's see. Yep, VOD is up. Let's see. Bruno Goats. I don't know, right? Let's see. Medhurst. That's right. Richard Medhurst. That's the name.
Oh, that's what you're talking about. I totally didn't pick up on it. I'm so sorry. I know.
No, it's okay. For some reason, I would have been able to tell you his name about 2 hours ago. For some reason, it just slipped out of my mind. Let's see.
It
Yeah,
happens.
it hurts. That's right.
He's good.
Yes, he is. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see. Richard Medhurst. Thank you, everyone. Okay, Richard Medhurst's base. Let's go. Yep, that's true. And I think that's pretty much it. Is there anything else if you want to add to the discussion? And you know, and want to let you know that you're always welcome to come back on my show.
Okay, well, you can come on my, even though I never had a guest before. I always just play other people's stuff, but if I start having guests, I'm gonna invite you on. I don't know. I don't even feel like making the plan, the timing. I don't even have a schedule. I just do the stream whenever I feel like it. So when I get better, maybe I'll start doing some interviews. But I like it that you come to my stream, and I like that you have me on, and I like that we are friends, and I like that I know you, and I want to say thank you, and thank all of the people in your audience, and thank all the times that you shared my stuff, and whatever else that I forgot to say, I'll let you know later. Oh yeah, and thank you for sending me so much stuff too. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. Sometimes I feel like sometimes whether it's you or somebody else, I feel like I bombard a lot of people with a lot of information. Sometimes I'm like, hey, take a look at this, take a look at this, take a look at this. No,
sometimes I just see it later, and I'm just like, oh, is this still relevant? Maybe I didn't check it in time or something. But sometimes I do have it. Sometimes when like everyone will want to send me stuff, and they're just like, damn, there's so much stuff, and then like sometimes nobody sends me anything. I was like, damn, nothing's going on. So just like, it just depends. But like, thank you. I overall I appreciate whoever sends me stuff, and it just like if I didn't play it, it might be because I got too much stuff or I forgot or something. But nothing personal. Just I want to let you know.
No problem, no problem. And as I said, thank you for coming on this live stream. As I said, and I enjoyed every second of this interview, and I hope to see you come back here again in the near future.
All right. Thank you so much.
Oh, all right. You have a great afternoon. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.